In this week's episode of The Winning Move, we're looking at Rory McIlroy. Rory just won the Players' Championship this morning, so we're going to take a deep dive into what Rory does with the pelvis in his golf swing. So his pelvis has been a hot topic of discussion for a long time, and I'm going to break down for you the 3 things that he does that contributes to having him hit it so far. So the first thing we're looking at is his sway. That's a side-to-side movement. So if we take Rory to the backswing here, moving his way up to the top, Rory has moved a total of about 2 inches to his trail side in the backswing. And then by the time he gets to impact, he's moved 5 inches towards the lead side. So a difference of just over 7 inches of side-to-side movement. So for those of you golfers that don't think you move side to side in the golf swing, we see this from the best players in the world. They just time it the right way. As long as your lateral movement comes before your vertical movement and your vertical movement comes before your rotational movement, then we have a good sequence there. Now let's look at how Rory's using the ground. So that's the lift metric. That's the down and up movement of his pelvis. So in the backswing, he drops his pelvis 2.4 inches. And then by the time he gets to impact, he's up an additional 1.4 inches. That means that there is 3 inches of vertical movement to his pelvis in his golf swing. That's very indicative of what we see the better players doing, how they're using the ground, creating ground reaction forces to contribute to more speed in their swing. Finally, how he rotates. So the turn of his pelvis and the turn of his chest. When he gets up to the top of his backswing, he has a 70-degree difference between the pelvis turn and his chest turn. So that's a great coiling effect through his core and a great ability to potentially create speed. In addition to that, in his transition, in an efficient transition, the pelvis moves first. And in Rory's case, he creates an additional 7 degrees of stretch between his pelvis turn and his chest turn. Now, all of this is just potential speed. Remember that. So when we get to impact, we want to see how much of that gap he's closed. How much of the door did he close at impact? Well, he's only got about 5 degrees of difference with the pelvis out ahead of the chest. And that is extremely great for taking that potential speed and turning it into realized speed at impact. We always want to see the pelvis just slightly out ahead of the chest, and we do that here by 5 degrees in Rory's case. And in this case, he's taking that potential speed, turning it into club head speed, and that's why we see Rory hit the golf ball so far out on tour.